Hello, I'm Bernard Hickey from interest.co.nz and welcome to the latest economic weather report. Today we're going to do something slightly different. We're going to have a look at the results of the Sichuan earthquake and how it might affect the global economy. Yes, economics really is the dismal science, and you can't forget that 11,900 people at least have been killed in this earthquake in the Sichuan province in China. But what does it mean for inflation and demand for commodities from China, and how might that affect the global economy? This matters in particular for New Zealand because China is our third largest trading partner and it drives the prices in our largest trading partner, Australia. Australia is actually exporting the iron ore, the coal and the nickel and other minerals that is powering China's industrialization. So when an earthquake hits and causes so much destruction, it's worth trying to understand what it means for the global economy. Citigroup estimates that the earthquake hit regions that generate 18% of China's GDP. But it sees the biggest impact on inflation in China. It sees demand for reconstruction materials and labour increasing already hot demand and prices for steel and concrete. You've got to remember that China is the world's biggest consumer of steel and concrete. And the Sichuan province produces 22% of the gas production in China. And obviously gas and coal and oil are the major producers of power in China. Also, 1% of China's power output was actually shut down because of the earthquake, because power stations were either destroyed or had to be stopped because lines out of those power stations were broken. So Citigroup sees the inflation pressures increasing because of the Sichuan earthquake, and inflation is already a problem in China. Just a couple of days ago they reported that their inflation rate increased to 8.5% in April. That's a 10-year high, and it's just below the 12-year high of 8.7% it hit in February. Now, some people say that the Chinese authorities just aren't being tough enough on inflation. They're not allowing the renminbi or the yuan to increase, and they're also not increasing interest rates enough. They have increased the reserve asset ratios. This is the amount the banks have to put into the Chinese central bank, but it's not slowing things down that much. So the overall impact from the Sichuan earthquake on the global economy, obviously it's horrendous for those people involved, but in terms of inflation, it's likely to increase pressure on inflation globally, and that's something the Reserve Bank here will have to watch. I'm Bernard Hickey. That was the Economic Weather Report from interest.co.nz.